Hey everyone, Andrea Caprio here. Great having you here for my weekly video where I share with you things that come up in my practice, questions I get, sometimes things I observe with a lot of clients. And today I want to talk really about one thing people ask me often. Most people want to lose weight fast, right? We are in a society, we want kind of immediate results. And so I put together a blog post actually, how to lose weight in 10 days. And as I often do when I put together a blog post, I like to share that here. So I'm actually trying to just copy paste here the link for you as well. So you have it. So we want to talk today about how to lose weight in 10 days. And what I would like to do is I will give you a way to lose weight in 10 days, but more importantly, it is really also giving you things that you can implement over 10 days that help you to lose weight further down. So either way, you can either just do that for 10 days or you can implement habits and keep them going so you can further go down. Now, I don't want to tell you that in 10 days you can lose 50 pounds. Let's face it, let's be realistic. It's not going to happen, or if really it would be happening, it would not be healthy. I'm really about losing weight in a healthy way, and far more important, actually keeping it off. But you definitely can implement habits that help you immediately to lose some weight, and then more importantly, help you to learn habits and implement habits that allow you for a long-term weight loss and keep the weight off as well. And as I mentioned earlier, this is really something that is far more important than just dieting. I read an interesting article earlier about, people being or somebody being addicted to dieting. And I see that actually often, right? Most people who come and see me, they have done diet after diet. Typically you're dieting, right? They go on a diet, they lose some weight, they put on more, they go on another diet, and so on. Somebody said with that in that article is they will only be happy when they lost the weight, right? But in fact, the thing is really about being happy now, and then you will lose weight. So that's just on the side that just came to my mind. I wanted to share that with you. I have all those tips I'm going to share with you, by the way, and a little bit more background as well. You find actually in my blog post, which you find the link for in the comments. And before I go there and share with you my 10 tips, or the how to lose weight in 10 days, each day will be one tip actually, is that I have a great announcement to make as well. Is I have recently been featured on a wonderful diabetes transformation summit. Now, it's really a great thing. Dr. Beverly, she has put together a really amazing summit with, I think, somewhere around 40 speakers, and I'm one of them. And I'm really amid the top experts of diabetes, of health, of also addressing any health concerns in a natural way. And so I'm very proud of that actually. And thank you so much for giving me the occasion for that, Dr. Beverly. But I want to share a free ticket to the summit. It's at the end of July actually. Again, in the in the comments is the link to it to sign up. And not only you can sign up for the diabetes summit, but you also get really great freebies. And one being, and I share this again here in the comments, is a cookbook with really great recipes that help you especially to overcome diabetes, prevent diabetes, and also help you with blood sugar balance or insulin resistance. Now, diabetes is of course an illness, chronic illness, and I speak about, by the way, diabetes type 2, that is, a lot of people are affected. You might say, oh, but I'm not. First of all, but about 80%, I think, of people who are pre-diabetic actually don't know they're pre-diabetic, and about 50% of people who are diabetic don't know they're diabetic. So it's really staggering numbers actually. So you might not, I don't know, of course, But it's definitely interesting to know that a lot of people are affected, big amounts, of course, in terms of being diabetic or pre-diabetic. And of course, even if it's not for you, maybe it's for somebody in your family or a friend or so. So I highly recommend either you share the link or you want to check it out yourself. And the recipes are really great. They're tasty recipes and they boost your energy and also are very good to fight inflammation. So it's not only just for diabetic people or so, but in terms of prevention and help you also to balance your blood sugar, which is very important for cravings, by the way, speaking about for weight loss, and also, for overall emotional health and physical health, of course. So you get access to that free of charge. You get access to the eCookbook and, of course, to the Diabetes Transformation Summit, where I'm going to speak. And as I said, it's at the end of the month. Can't wait for it to come there. And I'm sure you will hear more from me. But now let's talk about 10 days to lose weight. How can you do that, right? So many people struggle with that. So first of all, I will give you 10 days. You can use, of course, the way you want it, right? You can do each day. Ideally, I would recommend you start with one new habit and then just continue. Or you can, of course, do it maybe over 10 weeks, right? And do one habit per week and then add more. It's up to you. But if you, of course, implement all those, then you definitely would be able to see a weight loss after 10 days, provided, of course, you have to lose weight. Right. As usual, the things I provide for you are based on my knowledge, is based on, the work I do with my clients. I don't know you. So you always need to check with your doctor or main healthcare provider if whatever I recommend here is good for you. Always this disclaimer. All right. So on day one, to start off, is to balance your macros. Now, macros is really important. Most people, what I've noticed, is they're eating actually not a very balanced way of macros being your carbohydrates, protein, and fats. And very often what I really see is that people are having a higher carbs ratio than the protein and fat. And ideally, we're looking actually almost and it depends on you, of course, where you're at, right? Again, as I just said, if your doctor tells you to do something different, please follow that. If you have certain health conditions, that might be different. If your goals are not to lose weight, of course, that is different as well. But I've seen when people want to lose weight, keeping the macros a little bit more balanced is often what helps, and especially reducing the carbohydrates if they are very high. Now, I don't say taking them out, right? Carbohydrates and all the macros are important, so you should have all of them. But as I said, most people have too many carbs. And food tracking is really a good way, by the way, and something I do with my clients and help them, we give them feedback actually on getting that right. Carbs lower. Protein, on the contrary, needs to be often a little bit higher. I found that women in general eat too low protein diet, and especially also anybody who eats a vegetarian or predominantly vegetarian or vegan diet struggles with this. So be a little bit careful. There are plenty of ways to have enough protein on that diet, by the way, but you have to be a little bit more mindful for that. So it's really, really important to make sure you have enough protein. Fat is important. However, it's really important on the quality of fat as well. So avoid any processed fats, any kind of vegetable fats, but rather go for olive oil or coconut oil or healthy fats, rather like nuts or you find in an avocado or so. And then the other thing that is very important is also fiber. Now, fiber is not a macro per se. It's actually goes under the carbohydrates, but there are the carbohydrates that are more processed, let's say like your pasta, for example, or so. And it's more about having enough vegetables, actually vegetables and fruit and some pulses and even whole grains. But when I say fiber in general, I actually mean more vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. That is often something that is missing in the diet and is very important for weight loss. So just make sure that you get that. Then on day 2, Once your balance started getting a little bit the hang on your macros, and obviously, as I said, that is something you will have to continue. It's just doing it for one day will not make anything, right? So just want to make that clear. Avoid foods with too many ingredients. Basically, what I'm saying here is go whole foods, right? And I'm not speaking of the chain, but just avoid processed foods and ideally have whole foods in your diet as much as possible. Whole foods meaning vegetables, fruits, plain protein like chicken breast or a fish fillet, or it might be, as I said, whole nuts or avocado or something like that. And ideally you want always to make sure ideally you prepare your own food, but if you really buy something maybe pre-made or so, make sure that the list of ingredients is something actually what it is. So if you don't understand it, forget it. If there are more than 5 ingredients, it's usually not great. There are some exceptions, but yeah. And then anything that is usually sort of white flourish, like, pasta, white flours, refined carbs, sugar, anything obviously that is full of sugar, to be avoided, right? So you want really to get clear, and also things that are fried with, pre-fried or so, like, chips or something like that is definitely something you want to have off your plate. So that's really, really important to go whole foods. Now, the next one is on day number 3 is that you want to quench your thirst. And very often when we are eating, or we are often thinking we are hungry, but actually we're thirsty. Let's put it rather like this. And by just making sure you keep your body hydrated with enough water, you often don't need to eat, right? So that's already one thing, because your stomach is actually fuller, right? So one thing also, as I said, often the body mistakes hunger for thirst, so that can help. And also it helps with your digestive system. When you drink enough water, things move kind of better through your body, and that helps of course with weight loss, right? Because otherwise things get stuck, your food gets stuck, it stays longer in your digestive tract, one that leads to, or can lead to, bloating. It can lead to all kind of digestive issues, furthermore to inflammation based on this, and that can all lead to weight gain, or rather the inability to lose weight. So you definitely want to make sure you drink enough water. I would say if people drink enough water, it could probably be your 10%, maybe even 20% of your weight loss. So it's actually huge, right? And by the way, sharing these things with you now, one item will make you lose whatever amount you want to lose, right? But all these items combined together is what actually brings the scale, literally, pun intended, right? Moves the scale from that way to that way, or wherever you see it. So very important to add those things. So start to focus on drinking 8 big glasses. You can make a little bit more complicated a calculation, but already that is a really great start. Even more, especially when you exercise, or at the moment maybe you are in a hot climate, you definitely want to make sure you're hydrated at all times. Next, on day 4 is sleep. Now, you can lose weight while you sleep. Isn't that great? They've done really a lot of studies, and basically you need to remember, and I will obviously speak a little bit more about it as I go through all these days, the hormones play a big role in our overall health, but of course also the weight. And with it is that we have various hormones having different function, and one is the melatonin, which is our sleep hormone. And if that is not working properly, it then has an effect on the other hormones. And one of those hormones is ghrelin and leptin, your hunger and satiety hormones respectively. And they are affected through the other hormones. So if the sleep hormone or any other hormone is not doing its job, basically, that can lead that you might feel more, oops, what happens here? Okay, sorry for that. No. Okay, that was funny. There was something coming on here. So that might mean that you, for example, that you have more hunger and your satiety is kind of disturbed. So very important in weight loss, of course. And sleep, they have done a study where they had people who were sleep deprived and others who slept enough, over 8 hours, and the others were like 6, 7 hours. And the 6, 7 hours versus the 8 hours people were all put on the same, and the weight loss difference was 52%. 52%, it's huge. So definitely go sleep, you're going to lose more weight. The next thing I would like you to focus on is on day 5 is stress management, right? Super important as well. Your adrenals are, again, speaking of the hormones, are very important, and with their cortisol levels. So you want definitely to make sure that these are all working properly, and stress is a huge amount. It brings up your inflammation. Again, the hormones affect each other and might lead to difference or changes in hormones that affect negatively your weight loss. And also, again, when you're more stressed, you are more likely to eat when you're stressed, like stress eating, right? So all these things are super important. So stress management, things like breathing deeply, maybe meditating, doing yoga, or whatever way of something that helps you to relax a little bit is helpful if you want to lose weight. Good, let's move on. We are already on day 6. Yes, the weight is normally by that time probably starting to drop. Sometimes, of course, it takes a little bit more time, but if you've been doing that consequently over the last 5 days, basically, so you would already start seeing potentially some differences, right? It can be that quick. Don't forget one thing, it can be sometimes water weight. It can be obviously sometimes a little bit more stubborn. So I'm not promising you necessarily that you might lose weight in 10 days. If you do it, normally you would, okay? But sometimes it can be that things are really a little bit deeper and there might be some certain type of root causes. And this is, by the way, something I really work with my clients on, is finding out the root causes when they struggle, right? When there's a weight loss plateau. I have one client, she really struggled. She was a little bit impatient eventually, and I understand her, right? She tried diet after diet, nothing worked, and then she started with me, and she was actually really committed and really tried, to do what we were asking, mostly, let's say. And the thing is, we had really to get her even to the next level because, it was kind of deep-seated. So sometimes we have to look a little bit more at the root cause, such as hormones or such as the thyroid, which is part, of course, of your endocrine system. But, there can be things that are sitting a little bit deeper. So sometimes it takes a bit of time, but, with time, these things are. So day number 6 is move your body. And I'm sure you know that exercise is important. Now, the one thing to understand is exercise is not the most important part. If you look, nutrition is 80% of your weight loss and exercise 20%. And then there's a lot of other percentage there that are hidden. But in terms of those two, that's how you see it. So definitely move your body is, however, something that helps you still. If you have a certain amount of calories in, you also need to spend them, right? So move your body. But having said that, I have some of my clients, they move their body too much. Basically, they are overdoing the exercise, and then that becomes stress to your body. So you want to get the right amount of exercise for you. So it's not too much stress, but of course you want to move your body. That's super important as well. Let's move to day 7. And that is really something I love teaching, is make it easy. People think it has to be difficult, right? And it is not. I don't say it's completely easy, but you can make it easier. And what I mean by that is make your environment a little bit more conducive to actually eating and living a healthy lifestyle. If you have in your kitchen the sugar, the ice cream, the cookies, all these kind of things standing there in front of you, of course you eat it, right? I mean, to be honest, if I have all that stuff eating there, I will eat it as well, right? I don't have that stuff in my kitchen, right? There's some ice cream. I do like ice cream, and sometimes I have some. And let's say I have done the work. So from time to time, and by the way, as I teach a lot of balance, I don't teach diets or so, but I teach balance as well. So make it easy and remove any unhealthy food from your pantry or your fridge, right? If now you are eating differently, you want to lose weight and really eat healthy, maybe somebody in your family not have different cupboards or even have locks or something like that. That's a tip I can always give you. So very important, but also surround yourself with healthy people if you can. Go rather to a healthy restaurant. So make it easy. And one thing, prepare things in advance. Plan and prepare in advance. That's really, really important. That helps really. So if you have something really healthy that is, that is in your house, already, let's say you have a hummus with the carrot sticks already cut, and you come home, you're tired, you want a little snack, you have those if it's ready, right? But if you don't have it ready and you have to start do your hummus and blah, 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 you probably are most likely gonna catch the chips, right, that are there, standing there. So just have something ready and make it easy for you to actually eat healthy and live healthy. Day number 8, we are get to the root. I mentioned a little bit earlier, but that's one thing, and that's definitely one thing that you want to work a lot on is to know why you're struggling to lose weight or why you put on weight. And that's one work I do with my clients is really, I help them to get to the root cause of the issues. As I said, it could be a hormone imbalance, it could be maybe some gut issues, it might be some emotional root causes. Whatever there are, you always want to look and address those. Without those root causes, it's basically you go back to a band-aid, just a diet after diet, and you're not going to get anywhere. And by the way, before I forget, if you have any questions about anything I mentioned here, please do put the questions in the comments. Even if you are watching the replay, I mean, I'm obviously always checking, what I'm doing here or what's happening on my posts, right? So I will definitely reply because this is a lot, actually. I mean, what I give you here is basically what I normally only do with my clients, and that's how my clients actually lose 20, 30, even 50 pounds, right, over longer time. I work in the long term with my clients, really helping them to get to the root cause, to implement healthy habits like we do today, and also a lot working on the mindset. And that probably the mindset is, by the way, the biggest work. If you're interested, please, and you would like to get a little bit deeper into, you can always contact me, and get on a call with me or so. I always like helping people and seeing how I can help you, what is specially needed for you. We all are different, so my way of working is very personalized. And also remember to check out my blog post. The links are in the comments for the blog post, and remember also the Diabetes Summit and the cookbook I mentioned earlier. You get both in the comments. Now, and in my article on my blog post, there's some links to other things, so you can even get more information if you want. Right, now 2 more days to go. Reset your body is something I would recommend for day 9. Now, when you start picking up healthier habits, right? You start already to improve a little bit your normal water, having a better, stress management, sleep, etc. You start eating healthy and so on. We normally want to go a little bit deeper, and that's for day 9, because often our body is kind of stuck, right? When you kind of have been abusing your body, and sorry to use the word abusing, but if you have not been so nice to your body, like feeding your body with the best food, doing all the right things in terms of the lifestyle, practicing self-care and whatever, your body has suffered. And even if you have, let's face it, with the pesticides in the food, with the air we are breathing and so on, it's just our liver eventually gets too much of toxins and they build up, right, over time. So when your liver is full of toxin, eventually it kind of says, hello, can't do it anymore. I always say you can imagine it like a pipe in your house. When the pipe is stuck, it's stuck, right? And that basically happens or can happen with your liver. And often when that happens, even if you do the right thing, even if you eat healthy, even if you, let's say, eat less and do all the right things, but sometimes the body is stuck, and that could be your liver, can be also other things, but we want to that stage reset our body. And with that is normally a very healthy way of detoxing, which is done, by the way, in my 10-day reset program, which is, by the way, something how I became a nutrition coach. I did something similar to it. I did it a little bit longer than 10 days, but that's how actually I reset my body and I improved my health, literally 360 degrees, no, it's 180 degrees, right? But I completely turned around my health with the reset diet, which you, in the blog post, the link is here in the comments, there is a link in my blog post where you can actually check out my 10-day reset program if you're interested. And this is really a way to allow your digestive system to reset itself, your hormones to balance. And usually when people do that 10-day reset program is when they lose most of the weight. So that's really a great way and highly recommend it. So check it out in my blog post. Again, links in the comment. And now we are 10-day. Day 10 is celebration. Now, it's not celebration like let's run out and hit pizza or the ice cream store or whatever, but it is more to actually acknowledge what you've achieved. And by the way, when I say 10 days celebrate, is more, you should actually celebrate every time you do something good, obviously. And that's something I teach also in my programs called Tiny Habits. So really starting with a tiny habit, implementing it, so make it easy like we do during those 10 days that I shared with you. Do the new habit and then celebrate, and it can just be yes, or whatever, or maybe you find some other way of celebration, but not necessarily food related. Maybe you go to the movies or something like that. And also sometimes just for practicing gratitude and writing down your wins is a really great way. Often we beat ourselves up and say, oh, I suck at this, I'm useless or whatever. But if we really start taking this habit to look for those wins, I added more vegetable today. Oh, I drank another glass of water. Maybe I'm not yet at the 8 glasses, but instead of 4, I drank 5. Celebration, right? Very, very important. So if you are interested, then I invite you really to check out my blog post, and also you have a lot of other enhancement in that blog post for you to get more help with either my 10-day reset program or book a consultation with me where I can help you more. Now, I invite you to let me know in the comments what is your favorite tip and what are you gonna implement, right? If you want a recap, again, in the comments you find the link to my blog post so you can have the day 10 or the 10 days of those habits I recommend you. But I would like you to now write in the comments here, what are you at least gonna implement? Are you starting with day 1, right? Let me actually repeat all those. So day 1, are you gonna start to balance your macros? Or day 2, avoid foods with too many ingredients. Day 3, quench your thirst. Sleep for fast weight loss for day 4. Day 5, stress management. Day 6, move your body. Day 7, make it easy. Day 8, get to the root. Day 9, reset your body. Or are you gonna skip straight to the celebration? Type it in the comment what you're gonna do, and if you have any questions, of course, I'm here for you. My name is Andrea Caprio. Thank you so much for joining me today.